let's first get your background. I know I've met you before. I've talked with you a lot before, but kind of tell us a little bit about who you are, both your background and then also your political background.
So I'm married. I've been married now for 33 years. This year's going to be actually 34. I have two children, five grandchildren. I'm very, very blessed. I started my work in the community 33 years ago as well, and just so excited for the opportunities that I have been given. I have the opportunity to be a school counselor, a substance abuse counselor. I ran a rehab program. Also, I was not only a college professor, but I ran the mental health and counseling program at Mercy College, the graduate program. My doctorate is in counseling. I'm a licensed mental health counselor and decided to run in 2009. I saw all the ills that were taking place in my community. We had the worst unemployment rate in the city of New York, 23.5. Crime was rising. Kids were not graduating from school. But rapid fire now uh, uh, to 2021, and now we saw the unemployment rate go down from 23.5 to 5.7. Crime went down 66%. We I have one high school that has 99% graduation rate, so it's been amazing. And part of that is the leadership opportunities and competency and capacity that I've been able to exercise. I'm the chair of, of the Gun Violence Task Force, of the Government Operations Committee. I was the former chair of the Black Latino Asian Caucus. I had opportunity to represent the Bronx and Democratic delegate for President Obama. And now I'm the majority whip leader in the New York City Council, the longest serving council member in the Bronx. So I'm really excited now that I have an opportunity to run for Bronx Borough President. It's an opportunity to serve the community and to be able to lead during this COVID-19 era that we're living through and the aftermath that we are going to experience.
So you really had a whole other life essentially before getting into politics. Do you feel like that kind of sets you apart?
Yeah, absolutely. I bring in more experience. I bring in more education. I bring in more experiences that I've had that I think they're going to contribute to being able to bring a holistic approach towards leading the Bronx. I think the Bronx right now is struggling. We going through right now this COVID-19 season. Look, my mom died of COVID-19. It was the most painful day of my life. 6 weeks later, my mother-in-law passed away. I, I, I feel the pain. I understand the struggles that our people are going through. So I have a higher level of passion to be able to bring results. What I really want to do is to bring the power back to the people. Let me say that again. I want to bring the power back to the people, especially in the Bronx where we have been so disfranchised. We have been so neglected for so long, and the resources have not properly been allocated to the Bronx. And this is why I believe this is my moment. I believe that I was made for this moment.
Mm. And yeah, I mean, you have all these years in politics, and then what made you decide to go ahead and, hey, I want to do the VP. I want to give a try at that.
You know, I'm 56 years old. I'll be 57 this year. I'm in what is called the golden years. I could actually retire now. I have enough years working in the city. However, I have been working in this community for 33 years. I've been a pastor for that long as well. I have seen the struggles. I've seen what we're going through right now. And I feel that I'm the best prepared of all the candidates. And that has been validated by the community. We have raised more money than any other candidate by more contributors. We have the biggest network. We have a coalition of people from all over the Bronx. And because I want the Bronx to be united, this is the only way we're going to rise together, is to be able to work together and not for any sector of our community to be ignored. And so I believe that right now, uh, through my experience, through my education, through all of the networks that I have been able to work with and relationships, because our network is our net worth. And that's going to carry a tremendous, heavy influence and impact to bring change in the Bronx.
Hmm. What's your campaign slogan?
Bringing the power back to the people. I
Ah,
want to bring the power back to the people. Look, when I talk about power, I'm talking about economic power. I'm tired of the Bronx uh, continuing to have the lowest salaries, and not having those business opportunity. We only receive 1% of all the small business loans that the city gave. And I approached the mayor about this, and he gave me a commitment that that's going to change, and I'm going to be watching for that, and we're going to hold them accountable towards that. It is incomprehensible, and it baffles me that we didn't get that level of support. Only 12% of the SBA loans of all the businesses received the SBA loan. We need to empower the people in our community. The Bronx overall economic development is an arm of the borough president. And I'm going to use that to bring money, loans for business people. And here's the catch. What I want is to give it to the people who live here in the Bronx, who do business in the Bronx, so we can recycle that money 7, 8 times. Communities that prosper, they see those kind of resources being recycled 7 times to 8 times, and so prosperity could be disseminated to all. Educational power to be able to get our kids properly educated. Look, I started the first pilot program to get our kids ready to go to specialized schools. Now that our kids uh, don't have the capacity to get into specialized schools like Bronx High School of Science, Stuyvesant, is that they don't know how to take the test. And so we started a pilot program. And in the very first year, we already saw kids who previously in those classes couldn't get in, they got in. I have schools that have now orchestras. They're playing violin, viola. And I'm so committed. Look, I'm a UFT member. I'm a former school counselor. And this is why I brought more funding to public schools than any other council matter district in the Bronx. I want to empower our children to be able to have the best kind of education and experience so they could go to the next level.
well, that's where it starts. They're our future. That's how change things. So you mentioned, economy a lot. That's a big issue, and education. What are other top issues that you have that you would tackle if you were to be elected VP?
Housing is a big issue. We're experiencing gentrification in the Bronx. I've been very intentional about having affordable housing in my district. My district, according to the Farming Center and NYU, is one of the 7 districts that has not experienced gentrification. The reason for that is because we were, as I mentioned just now, we're very intentional in bringing affordable housing. This is why we did the Jerome rezoning, and now we already have 3 buildings going up, all 3 of them with affordable housing, 100% affordable housing units for our community. I was the author, and I was able to pass the Tenant Bill of Rights. My heart, look, if we don't have housing, we're not able to stay in our community. We want to make sure that those who are here stay here, and they be able to afford it. And part of that is to be able to use capital money to infuse it into development that is going to give us more units, more affordable housing units. So I'm looking forward to seeing an expansion affordable housing units right here in the Bronx, and for seniors as well. I want every senior to know that you're in my heart, and we are going to make sure that we have affordable housing units for seniors that are fully accessible to them and that meets up their needs.
You also mentioned, how you even ran a rehab facility before. I know it's come up a lot in terms of, concerns about drug addiction and, not being able to get help.
We need to, first of all, do focus on the prevention part, because otherwise we're going to be forever trying to rescue people who are in this bondage. And so what I want to be able to do is to work with the Spark program. I'm a former Spark counselor in the public schools, so we could have expand the program, be able to provide better education and support system. We need better after school programs for our children, and expand that as well. I brought the New, New York Junior Tennis League to my district. The world champion for handball is in my district. I came from my district. You go to St. James Park, everything is brand new. The basketball courts, the brand new soccer field, tennis. So we want to get the kids so tired doing good, they'll be too tired to do bad. But at the other end, for those who are struggling, I want to be able to have on-demand treatment. See, one thing that I learned about addiction is somebody wants to get help, you gotta have the doors wide open right away, because the addictions are so powerful that there's only a time period where those who are struggling with drug addiction, they'll be able to say, you know what, I hit rock bottom, I want to get in now. That now needs to be now. Now come back 3 days later, 7 days later. So I'm going to be pushing and making sure that we have on-demand treatment for everyone who wants to get help, and not just 29 days. Those 29-day programs work for some people, but they don't work for the vast majority of people. And we want to be able to expand those services so they can get the help that they truly, truly need.
What do you stand for? I know that's kind of a, could be, a long-ended question, but yeah, what do you stand for? Why are you getting into this?
Well, I stand for our community. I stand for our people. I stand for those who want to see a brighter future. Sometimes it looks grim for people. Sometimes when you look at what's happening in NYCHA, we got to help our NYCHA residents. I invested millions of dollars in NYCHA buildings in my district. In some of the buildings, brand new refrigerators installed. No other council member has done that in the Bronx. All of my NYCHA building has